Assalamualaikum and good day. This is Muhammad Farid Anwar bin Mazlan presenting my progress for ECH 5990. The title is An Evaluation on the Occupational Safety and Health Compliances among the petrol station operators in Kuala Terengganu. Okay, this is the content of my presentation today. We will have overview, problem statement, objective, the scope of study, literature review, methodology, progress, and lastly the milestones. Okay, for the overview, as you can see in the slides, I put some cases that happen in petrol station in Malaysia and also in other countries. The accident that happened in other countries, I put the accident that happened at Ghana petrol station, where it exploded and killed 7 and injured 100 over others in 2017. While in Malaysia, I put 3 cases that happened in 2016 and 2 cases in 2014. In 2014, there was 1 death and 10 injured in the accident that happened in Gua Musang. The accident that happened in Gua Musang in 2014 is caused by the failure of the level indicator during the unloading process from the tankers to the underground tank at the petrol station. The fuel is flowed down to the neighboring food stall and caught on fire, and suddenly the fire started. And the accident caused 1 fatality. And the recent case that happened in 2016, it happened at Austin Perdana, Johor, where a contractor died due to the gas tank explosion during maintenance job. Okay, this is the overview about the petrol station in Malaysia. The data is I get from KPDNKK website. Is put all the petrol station divided by states. You can see that the red arrow here actually is the where the study is conducted in Terengganu. There are 143 petrol station currently operated based on the data up to December 2017 that I extract from the KPDNKK website. Okay, this is about the typical petrol station layout, which I extract from Singapore Civil Defence Force. You can see that this is quite the typical layout. You can see that we have a sales building, we have dispensers island, we have a filling point, and the underground tanks for the fuel storage. This is basically what we have in Malaysia is basically same like this. And then the type of petrol station ownership, there are 3 types of ownership for petrol station. We have dealer owned, dealer operated, DODO. This where dealer own the place, but the oil company keep control the facilities, including tanks, pumps, and other equipment. Number 2, we have company owned, dealer operated, CODO, where the oil company owns the site, but it is operated by an independent dealer. And number 3 is we have company owned, company operated, COCO, where the oil company owns the real estates and operates the site with salaried or commissioned staff. Okay, this actually the list of agency or department that involved in enforcement at the petrol filling station. We have number 1 here is Ministry of Domestic Trade, Cooperative and Consumerism, where this agency involved in giving permit to trade the petroleum at the premise. And number 2 is Fire Department, where this department enforced the Fire Act 1988, where all the requirement for the fire fighting equipment is governed by this regulation. Number 3 is Department of Occupational Safety and Health, DOSH, where there are 3 acts that are being covered for petrol station. Number 1 is OSHA 1998, number 2 is FMPA, and the last one is Petroleum Act 1974 for safety measures. And Department of Environmental, number 4, enforcing the Environmental Quality Act 1974, which any effluent from the petrol station need to be complied with this regulation. And number 5 is local municipal agency. Basically, local authorities may have to deal with land acquisition, siting of the petrol filling station. Okay, this is the problem statement. Currently in Malaysia, there is no study conducted on the compliances and the fitness of the safety devices at the petrol pump station. Number 2, there is no standardization on the safety devices installation at the petrol station. Therefore, this study will assess on the factor on the non-compliances and propose the baseline for the standardized petrol station safety guideline. So, this is the objective of my studies. Number 1 is to assess the OSH non-compliance from the enforcement at the petrol station by DOSH Terengganu. Number 2 is to assess the factor of non-compliance by the petrol station operator. Number 3 is to propose or recommend a framework for a standardized the petrol station pump safety guideline. Okay, this the scope of studies. Number 1 is OSH non-compliance at petrol station in Kuala Terengganu, because just as I mentioned at the overview before, there is 123 petrol station in Terengganu, but for my study I only focus in Kuala Terengganu where only 32 petrol stations are operating right now. Number 2 is the non-compliance from the aspect of installation and fitness of safety device. Means that from the title itself, it's mentioned it's not OSH non-compliance. The topic is too broad, but OSH here I focus only on the aspect of installation and the fitness of safety devices only. Number 3 is the root cause analysis on the non-compliant factors. Meaning that for the non-compliant factors, I will conduct root cause analysis why this there is non-compliant for these safety devices. So for the lecture review, I select for these two which I refer. Number 1 is from UTM. The title is Understanding Perception of the Fire Risk from the Petrol Station Workers. And the key finding of this research is it evaluate on the understanding and awareness on safety among petrol station workers. In this research, they conduct a survey using a questionnaire, focusing to the workers' perspective, what they do understand about fire risk at the petrol station, because the issue is the foreign workers and the level of understanding of the workers toward the in case of any emergency related to the fire emergencies. Number 2 is Hong Yuzhang from China. This research, the title is research about the fire prevention of vehicle refueling station. And the research focusing on the oil and gas fire risk, the refueling process, and the facilities, and propose the appropriate fire prevention measures at the petrol station. So this two lecture review or research is quite related to my studies. So for the methodology, so in the slide here is the structure of my methodology. Number 1 is you can see that for audit the compliance on the OSH focusing on the safety devices using DOSH checklist. So I'm using the same checklist as DOSH use to go and to check the non-compliance. And then I get the data from the DOSH, from the report of the enforcement for the 32 petrol station in Terengganu, and analyze the findings to get the what is the non-compliant element for this petrol station. So for the progress, from the extracted data from the second data, which I get from the report that I get from DOSH Terengganu, for the Kuala Terengganu area, there are 32 petrol stations right now. So from that, you can see that from the chart, there is 10 from Shell, 9 from Petronas, 1 from BHP, 5 from Petron, and 7 from Caltech. So these are the petrol stations that currently operated in Terengganu by brand. So from the brand, I make the study through the ownership. You can see that there are only two types of ownership from 32 station. One 17 unit using on CODO ownership, and 15 DODO ownership. Means that dealer owned, dealer operated is 15 pump station, and 17 station is company operated and dealer owned type of ownership. Okay, for the Gantt chart right now, I'm expecting to start visit the petrol station in July 2018 because due to the Ramadan and final exam before, so didn't manage to get to the site. So expected to go to visit in July. And then currently the data analyzing just start to do on the demographic only, not yet to the non-compliant, because I have to go for the visit and make a comparison, and also to seek the why is the non-compliance for the safety device installation at the petrol station in Terengganu. So I think that's all from me for the progress presentation. I hope you can guide me to improve my report. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.